All right. Let us get all set up here. Grab a rag. Alrighty. Howdy, howdy. Right. Well, let's get started. For anybody who's checking this out later, this is kind of a test stream, and what I'm going to do is I have two separate Xperia plays here. So this is the one that I've been using. It's got a little bit of a beat up shell on it. It's not too bad, but it's in black, and it is the model. I believe it's the 800X. I don't remember, but what this is it basically is a Android phone from about 2011. And it runs an older version of Android, but it is also kind of a retro handheld that can play up PlayStation. And this specific model uses a custom kernel that I have called AutoDrive. The developer has long since vanished, but he made a really cool pre-configured version of Android essentially for it. And what I want to do is that version of that phone doesn't come in white, so but this one does. So what I'm doing, and this is a brand new phone here. Take that plastic out. Going to be doing a shell swap. So we got to take it apart to do so. So I'm going to boot this up, make sure it works. Kind of show you the difference between the two. Now, I've never done this before. Let's see if this guy boots up. There we go. Forgive the smudges. It's going to be like that until I'm done. While I'm waiting for that original one to boot up. This is the internals, basically, I want to save, but with the shell off of this guy. And it's kind of cool, actually. It's been pre-configured, this operating system here, to have... I don't know if that'll focus or not. Let's see. There we go. Well, either way. It's got a bunch of emulators, essentially, built in. So, you know, all of our retro games and such. So, and you can boot right into them. Oops. I wonder if... Let me see here. All right, I think I've got everything I need. Yep, okay. So to make sure this works at the end, I'm actually going to be running our game of the week here. This is Dragon's Fury. And yep, forgive me, I'm on two different devices. I've got YouTube up here and TikTok over here. So hello, TikTok people. So Dragon's Fury is a little pinball game that we're playing for Game of the Week this week. And it seems to work okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and, oops, exit this. Gonna turn this off. Make sure this one's turned on. It is. So, just brand new little Android phone. So let's get shell swapping. There we go. Just making sure we're live on my other video here. Looks good. All right. There we go. All right, we'll start taking it apart. So I think what I'm gonna do is start by just getting the parts off of the new one, the white one here. All right, battery comes out. Okay, there's no SD card in there, nothing like that. This is my toolkit. Get this going. We're gonna have lots of little screws to take out. I believe I have the right torque screw. Oh. Well, that'll be embarrassing if I have one that doesn't fit. No, we're good. All right. One. Black one. This is a used device, and a screw just came out that I didn't unscrew. So we'll see where that was supposed to go. I think it went there. This is the risk of buying used electronics. There we go. There we go. We're good. We're golden. Come on. There was a time when I feared doing stuff like this. Just checking to make sure we're live on both platforms here, which we seem to be. This is kind of a demo tech check, as it were. But anybody joining, I'm sure I'm going to repeat myself quite a bit, but we are tearing apart a couple Sony Xperia plays to do some shell swapping. So I figured I'd show it off here. There we go. One, two, three, four. And I think I've got to pull out all these little guys here too. Yep. everybody to keep all their fingers and toes crossed that we don't lose a screw. Luckily, I don't think I'll be messing with any springs. Probably a ribbon cable or two, given that this is a sliding phone. So, it's kind of a cool thing to kind of see, like, how what these were put together, too. These are early smartphones from back in, like, the early 2010s. A lot easier to get into than your modern smartphone. Now, it's funny. So, like I said, I bought this used. It's got a aftermarket shell on it, I'm sure, which is all I'm after. It's just the white shell parts. The back just comes off. The front, you have to disassemble to get there. But that's just kind of interesting that these screws are like super loose. So I'm pretty sure it's when they replaced the shell. They didn't screw these down very tight. All right. So once we have these out, I think I have to go ahead and and I'm just looking at a guide. I know how to do this, but I want to make sure I don't screw it up. All right. Second time around, I probably won't need to. But I'm going to be here for a while. So on either platform, feel free to throw any questions you have while we're doing this tear apart. I think I know what to do. All right, so I need to remove this inner shell here, and it seems that it pulls right apart, right along the edge here. Yep. And I believe, just let me double check. Oh yeah, okay. If anything's hard to see, feel free to let me know. This is kind of just a demo. This is not a guide for the future. There are much better videos detailing how to do it exactly. I'm not sure why that sticker says Ling G on it. Watch me break this thing. Come on, there's a lot of tape. This is from the manufacturer, though. Come on. Let's try from the other end. Power button's probably going to fall out on its own accord, which is fine. We are just going to keep babying this thing until it decides to give it up. But yeah, this is the R800i, which is not the variation that plays that specific little operating system I want it to. I believe it's the R800X, which is the other one, not this PSP Go here. That's just for fun. Right. She's coming, she's coming. How about we give up this clip right here? There we go. The reason I'm doing the white one first is it's the one I want the parts from, and I will feel the least bad about breaking. But you can get these, and once we publish this on YouTube, I'll put the link in there, but you can get these phones for, there goes the power button. That's 70 something bucks, maybe including shipping. I'm not sure if it includes it or not, but they're not expensive. I mean, for what they are. And these guys will run, these guys will run Android. Like, I mean, they're Android phones, so they'll run all your basic emulators. This thing will do PlayStation and down, basically. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, it will it basically performs similar-ish to like the 3326 handhelds. but with Android. Now, caveat on that Android, it's like Android 4 or 5 or something like that. Whatever Gingerbread is, I think is what it's stuck on because of the age of the platform. So I feel like I'm missing a screw here. Zoom, my perfect Sunday is tearing down a handheld on camera that I've never done before. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not breaking this. I'm actually going to double check. Aha! Oh, wait, no. Yep, okay. That sticker is hiding a screw. I didn't know. So let's get that out of there. It's probably just a warranty sticker from AliExpress. Let's get that out of there. By warranty, I mean they just know if you got into it or not. But I have zero intention of returning this. So that would be why. Right. All right, now we should be able to pull that out because I believe that's the end of the screws. It's funny, I'm super new to the YouTube thing, right? So there we go. So I like messaged my wife. I'm like, I'm gonna be live in my workroom. You might want to knock. So all right, let's take a look. See what the next step would be here. It's and again, I've watched a couple tutorials and read a few things on like iFixit stuff, just how to do this. But I just want to make sure I get it right the first time. So we're double checking our steps, folks. Put this one aside. I don't need this Xperia or this PSP Go. All right, so there's a screw under here. That is hiding. So let's get that out of there. Goodbye, sticker. Okay, we need a different screw head for that. Looks like a little Phillips. A little Phillips. That might be too little. I don't want to strip it. No, I think that'll work. Made in Malaysia. That's cool. All right, and then I believe the next one is this bad boy here. Cool. I'm going to actually move these screws a little bit off so because last time I took apart something like this, it was a Nintendo Switch, and I had a big old pile of screws, and when trying to pry something, I slipped. Didn't break anything, but I sent about 20 screws flying, so that was an adventure. All right, and I believe we can just pull the controller board right off now. Just gonna go slow here because that is a ribbon cable right there. And I do not want to destroy this if possible. I won't cry if this gets broken, mainly because this is the donor board, but I'd like to resell it if possible. So something feels like it's sticking and I don't want to break it. So I'm just gonna give it a little tug. We get to learn this in real time. I think I may have missed a step. One sec. Yep. Just double checking. I did. This bad boy's got to come up. There we go. which is the sound jack. Careful. Careful. I'm happy to report that I'm doing it right. I'm just checking my work. All right. Now, we just pull this a little bit. There is a ribbon cable latch. And I'm seeing tape stretching, so I'm going to stop here and double check. Okay. Come on. Don't break. There we go. Alright, look at that. That big old thumbprint in there. That is not mine. Not brand new, that's for sure. Alright, that should just come right out. I'm gonna double check that. I think it just sits right in that tray there. Yep. Ah, perfect. Did it. All right, so that's the bottom half of the slider, and then the screen is here. Which is all I need from there. And then I believe that we just now need to take down a couple screws off of this bad boy, which appear to be Phillips heads. Interesting. All right. Oh, hello. That is not working. Let's try a different screw head. There we go. Hello. Thank you. One. I think this is all I have to do to get that screen off. Because what the goal is to get this bezel off, and I believe it's attached to the screen. Oh, man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nope. Nope. Don't want to keep touching that. Soft screw. Let's see if I can get a nice, sharp flathead in there. We could be done real quick if that's the case. Nope. I may not have a flathead small enough for that, so let's try. Folks, we might be at an impasse here. This is a used device that somebody has gotten into already, and unfortunately, I may have a stripped screw here, and of course it's like the last of four, right? Like, watch this one will come right out. Yep, that one comes. There's like some corrosion on these guys. Huh. I'm gonna push real hard on this, see if it moves. Got it. Whew. All right, no stripped screws today. Oh, man. There we go. A little bit of dust in there. Just double checking, make sure I'm not missing nothing. I don't believe so. So I believe this probably just comes right off. Let's see here. So there's 4 screws on the corners. If I remember right, because this is a slider here. Let me take a look. That came off by itself, which is fine. Okay, no, I'm wrong. We need to go at least another step here. So this little ribbon cable's got to be unseated. So I need to be super careful with that. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, ribbon cables. I don't love you. Things like ribbon cables were designed to break to prevent you from doing what I'm doing. Let's take a look here. All right, that's coming out. Just double checking to make sure I'm not going to pull the wrong part off here. This is a finicky little device. Okay, I think it's just glued down. Yeah. We're good. We're good. I think we're good. I have a spare set of ribbon cables for this, I believe. So at least for the main slider, this bad boy here, which is the one that breaks all the time. You cannot find those anymore. All right. Just double checking. Yeah, okay. I believe that's just to get this out of the way of the shell. Moment of truth. Don't break. Yes. Hey, look, we're doing it, boys and girls. There we go. All right. For anybody interesting, I've got 2 cameras. I've got YouTube here and TikTok here. Just trying out the live feature since we have access to it, right? So I believe I just need to unseat that like so. Then the other side. Yep, okay. They're great. So you know, this community being around emulators and such, they run everything up to PlayStation, which is fairly on par with most like good handhelds we've had until recently. And it is a tiny, like tiny Android device. Like to give you some comparison, I mean, this is a fat PSP Go with the modded shell on the back, but I mean, it's the same. It's smaller than a PSP Go, so which is already considered tiny. So I mean, if you want a little Android, this is it. Battery's not amazing. It's kind of small, but it works. It was my first retro handheld. Just because it ran Android. You can't get anything on the store anymore. They've blocked all these like gingerbread handhelds, but it's not a big deal. You sideload everything. All right, So that's moving. Let me double check the next part here. I believe I just pull it off the back side. Yeah. So we're just going along the shell, busting it open. Not literally, hopefully. There we go. All right, that's unclipped. All right, so that should actually just come right out. So I'm just gonna keep working on it. It should actually hinge out on that side, so I wanna make sure I don't tear that ribbon cable. See if I can start convincing it to come out. I gotta do this twice, by the way. We'll see how far I can get. Ah, there we go. Whew, okay, careful. Awesome. All right, there's our button set. Now this ribbon cable is still attached. I'm wondering if I should have pulled that off. Let me take a looky-loo here. Do my best to not tear this. Okay, so that's the screen attachment essentially. So I wonder if I can just unlatch it from. Doesn't appear to be a latch there. You can see there's a ribbon cable attached to a ribbon cable here. I'm more than willing to pull it out. I just don't want to do it wrong. So I wonder if I can just... Let me double check one thing, folks. Ah, I did miss a step. That's on me. It's so small, I couldn't tell. There is a latch on here. It's right there. It's so tiny. Show the other camera here. There's a little black latch here that holds this ribbon cable in. There we go. Grab my tweezers. I need some plastic tweezers instead of these metal ones. But I'll just have to be careful. There we go. Look at that. Done. All right. So we've got that off. The part I wanted is this. And you have to get through all that to get to that. This is the screen. Old smartphones from 2011 don't have glass. So I'm going to make a small edit here of my parts. I'm going to move a couple things around and pull apart number 2. There we go. Some of that stuff's going to be off camera, but it's okay. All right, donor board. Cool. So we are a quarter of the way done. You might hear a little bit of noise in the background. I've got a just about 13-year-old puppy here who just mostly sleeps all day. He snores. All right, let's get that SD card out of there. Battery out. Same story. All right, we need the other one. I appreciate y'all joining me here on Sunday. It's kind of fun just to... I figured since I was going to tear this stuff apart, I would at least let some of the internet watch if they were that bored. I'll show you what this looks like at the end, by the way. Like, and just kind of a little demo of what it is. It's... You know, my thing, outside of a couple specifics, is I really like handhelds that like nobody else uses, especially if it's kind of obscure. And I'd say the Xperia Play at this point is a little obscure. It's not like they're super hard to find. You can still get them on AliExpress. And the YouTube video of this, we'll have a link where you can buy one. It will be an affiliate link, so feel free to wait until this uploads. And this is what I'm looking for here, is the R8. Let's see if it focuses. Probably not. You have to forgive me, folks. That is a tiny, tiny little text. Anyways, you'll believe me. It says R800X. Show the other camera here, too. Well, this is an R800i. The difference is just the carriers that they came on, as well as, like, where they were made. Like, for example, the R800i was made in Malaysia. The 800X was made in China. I believe the R800... X was a Verizon exclusive. They're a little bit harder to find. They will run the same emulators, same performance, everything. It's just the guy that made the custom ROM that I like to use, and again, it's like a super obscure piece of software. For some reason on this board, doesn't charge via USB. Like, it won't charge. I actually, when I first put this together and put that ROM on, I didn't know that, and plugged it in overnight. The battery was dead. So I had to get a cradle to charge this. I have a charging cradle for it, and then flashed it back to stock. And again, it runs all those emulators and stuff. The 800X is the one that I can run that custom ROM on. So the idea being that I can, but they only come in black. That was the problem, right? And I wanted one in white. So I ordered this 800i in white. And now we're swapping shells. All right, I think that's all of those. Now I gotta get these little black screws off. My goal is to get these things swapped and put back together before I run out of time, and I think I should be fine. But for YouTube, I just wanted to see if it would work. We're also live on TikTok because I'm sure people are tired of watching stone tumbling and people just staring at their screen. TikTok's a weird place, dude. But I'll talk about it while I'm doing this. So it's kind of cool because they have like R and L buttons. Like it's a dedicated handheld essentially that's also a phone. It runs on 3G. Given that it came out in 2011. I would not use one as a phone in the year 2022. There are people that do. Those people are nuts. And for those of you on TikTok, I saw a couple follows there. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have to keep my eyes on the prize here, so if I miss a message or something, I don't mean it personally. All right, I think that's all the screws for that layer. Let me get them off to the side here so I don't lose them. Not really using that spudger. If you're ever interested in taking apart these things, there we go. And there should be the affiliate link in our YouTube channel, so I appreciate that. Thank you. But definitely, get these little plastic separators. Yeah, they'll save your life. The next layer would be guitar picks. All right. And the reason I say plastic is because it's less likely to destroy your stuff. this end first. There we go. It's that first crack that always scares me. Come on. And again, this is why I use plastic tools on this kind of stuff, is because it's gonna have a lot less likely of breaking. Let's see if I can pull this up. There we go. That power button's gonna fall out, which is totally fine. Come on. I'm paranoid that I missed a screw or something. I don't think I did. Wrong side. No, we're okay. Let's see here. This is just me being extra careful. My very first foray into this kind of stuff was a couple years ago. And it was when I was hacking a Wii U for the first time, which I have and use. Less often these days, because it seems like the Switch does about everything that thing did. Except for playing Wii games. It's like the best way to play Wii games on your TV is with a Wii U. But took apart a gamepad for one of those, which they're quite expensive. Because the Wi-Fi on it wasn't working. The Wii U uses Wi-Fi to connect to the gamepad. Took it apart and lost about half the screws. Tore some kind of ribbon cable thing. And wasn't sure how to put it back together again. So I actually have a bag, like a Ziploc bag full of Wii U controller parts. Like the gamepad, like most everything in there, just torn apart and probably missing some screws. So anybody wants that, I could let that go super cheap. All right. Oh, hello. That came off. Is there like tape there? I don't remember that holding anything. That's just tape. All right. Yeah, the other one doesn't have that. Oh, the inside of this one. Stubbs, this is your donor device, by the way. It looks a lot better. It's just got some tape on it and stuff. The inside of this one looks really good. All right, next. Let's get these two bad boys off here. One. I'm going to try to do this one from memory. Two. And I'm kind of going back and forth looking at the different feeds we have here. To those that are joining us, we are tearing apart two Xperia Plays to swap shells. Xperia Play is this old cell phone. All right, so that came off, I believe. Next is this bad boy's got to come up. Yep. Loosen that, but don't take it off. And then this, we creep out just a bit. This bothers me because I can see the tape glue separating. And I don't like it. Okay. I'm going to double check one thing here. I just want to make sure I'm doing that right. Yeah, okay. I'm doing it right. I should have more confidence in myself. This little connector here needs to be undone. There we go. And then that slides off with that. Boom. All right. Board out. Let's just check these screws. This one, interestingly, has not been gotten into, so that's kind of cool. These are all brand new. So I gotta pull that off. If I got something I can get it out with there. It's just a sticker. There we go. I am not gonna put that back in. This is when someone tells me, like, no, you have to. Because something won't work. Come on. Guess what? I swear they put these in here just to make it so you can't get into them. Although if you're this far committed, I guess it doesn't really matter. There we go. Thank you. Put that in the pile of stickers. All right. So we need to take off those 4 screws, and we are almost done with the teardown process. Oh, hello. It's got that residue from the sticker on there. Come on, let go of my finger. Oh yeah, just figured I'd share. If I'm gonna do this anyways, right? Talk to myself. All right, those 4 screws go there. Thank you. Now I believe I just need to spudger it off. I like that word, spudger. I don't know if that's actually the word for this or not. Oh, forgot. That comes off. Get this little ribbon cable out of here. There's a term that my favorite boss ever taught me that I need to make sure I remember in situations like this. And this is a great thing to have just to remember in your life when it comes to doing things right. And it's slow is fast, and fast is slow. Meaning, if you rush yourself, you might mess up. And that could add extra time to whatever you're doing. If you take your time, you get to do it right, well then you're golden. It might take a little tiny bit longer. There's nothing that takes longer than having to do it all again. Or breaking your handheld. So, we're gonna just be super gentle. While I work on getting this bad boy out of here. Yeah, this one's stuck down because it's never been gotten into. The other one I think has an aftermarket shell on it, which is funny because I'm just taking the shell off. You can't just buy the shells. Or at least not when I looked when I bought this a while ago. But this one has not been gotten into, which is kind of nice, except for it's real tight in there. I hesitate to use this tool for what I'm doing right now, just because I really don't want to tear it up. I'd like to retain this board. But she don't want to come up. I think it's taped down as part of it. Let's just take that out. That way, if I break one thing, I don't break two things. All right. Well, I'll pull it off when I take this apart. So let's pull this off. Man, she don't want to. But she's gonna. Just making sure I didn't miss any screws or anything. That would be just awesome, wouldn't it? Tearing out the board. There we go. The whole thing just kind of wiggles out as soon as you get it there. That's funny that the other one came out like immediately, and this one is like straight up glued. Yeah, that's why it was glued down. There we go. There we go. That's what we wanted. Old board out. Let's get a quick wipe down while we're here. And that old school LCD. All right. And now it's pretty simple. We're just swapping parts back in. Wonder if I can do this without a guide. Probably. The goal today is for Damien not to break this. That is our simple and ultimate goal. Whoop, hello. As I immediately drop it. I'll give this a wipe on the inside too. Looking pretty clean. Looks pretty clean. Maybe not. Hold on. Look. There's a little bit of schmutz in there. There we go. Good as new. If I do this wrong, I'll have to just take it apart and do it again. But I think I got it. Hey, look at that. The whiteboard. No, I have a feeling I probably could have just kept the screen on there, now that I think about it. All right. Just thinking how I want to continue here. So that's the old board. That's all the old stuff. So let's move this over here. Yeah, I wonder if this is compatible with the other one, because at that point I probably could have just kept it without taking the lens off, but no, it's good for learning. All right. So now I have to get this board back, or this little ribbon cable back down into this little cradle without tearing anything. You know, I'm going to take that back off real quick. Just to make sure. Probably got somebody who's done like 20 of these watching this right now and being like, Damien, you're such an idiot. You're doing it wrong. There we go. That's better. Now I get to play the fun game of seating a ribbon cable with like zero room to work with. Without tearing it is really, really the whole point. I wonder if I should have done that with it detached. That bezel wants to come off. Let's help it along the way. And I don't want to tug on that. So we're going to go in at an angle. Let's see if I can get it in there. I think the next one I will do slightly different. Luckily this can be bent. They put a little cut in there so you could do it. There we go. Come on, we're almost there. We're almost there. Aha. We're in. Done. Perfect. Snap it all back together. Let's get this bad boy put back together and make sure it works. And then we'll put the other one together. And then, well, I will have a Xperia Play for sale soon. Beautiful. All right. So since we're going to use the R800X board, Yes, the R800. I want to make sure I don't mix them up. I just need to put these screws back in here. So there were what, two of these bad boys? No, four in the corners. So we do those first. It's just funny. I'm just now thinking about that. Like I said earlier, that I bet I probably could have just taken the entire front off without having to take the bezel off and just swapped it. I bet they're universal, but now we know. And as G.I. Joes used to say, knowing is half the battle. These are a little sticky from that sticker. How appropriate. One. Carefully. Two. That's all in there together. Awesome. All right. Now I just need to put the board back on, reconnect it, get all the screws, and then put the back plate on, and we're good. So let's take a look at this. This is a ribbon cable connector. This is the big expensive part that everybody loses or breaks. Not from tearing it apart, although I'm sure that plays a role, but from, oh, hello. I wonder if I can just press that on there. There should be a press fit. Yep. Easy. I love it. The ribbon cable just has a connector and the board has another connector, and you just push them together and it just goes right in. I'll take it. One board screw. Two board screws. The only thing I think about this aftermarket thing that they screwed up is these internal plastic, I think, should be white. And and you can kind of see when they have the shell on, you can kind of see a little bit of the black. It's not a big deal, but all right, this has to go back down. And then there, I want to make sure, I'm going to check one more thing to make sure I don't screw this up. Forgive me, folks. I'm just double checking a guide. Just to be 300% sure. So the ironic part is I need to take that back off. I missed a step. There's this little piece of plastic, and it's like plasticky cardboard. I don't know what it is. It's probably just a shield. But it's supposed to go on there, so. Let's pop that back up. probably not like hyper necessary, but sorry. We're gonna do it for good measure. Oop. Don't get lost in there. It almost went for a swim under the cover. There we go. Oop. Hello. Just want to cover that up. There we go. Okay, now I can press fit that back on. Uh-huh. A little finicky. Let's get this out of the way. All right, we're good. We're golden. I think I've got it now. Cool. Yay, it works. All right, that's all down. That just needs a press. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I want to swap these parts out. So that stays with the black. This goes with the white. I'm actually going to keep the original backside there, just because it's got already that sticker in there, which I'm actually going to tear off. There we go. Much better. Oh, we gotta get that power button in there. Don't want to forget the power button. If I can remember how this goes in here. Oop. I believe it just sits like that. Oop. Hello. Probably a piece of tape is what I'll need if I can't get that to sit right. But I think we're okay. I should just... Yep, I can feel the power button is exactly where it needs to be. Clip in. Buttons feel like they all work. Buttons feel like they all work. Hoo-hoo, we are almost done with this one. Okay. Still online? We are. Awesome. Appreciate y'all hanging out on Sunday here with me. So I'm going to get these screws in. I'm going to get the battery in. And then I will test for function, make sure it works. And then put the other one back together. Same story. These aren't that complicated, so I can't imagine there's much I messed up. If we have to go into troubleshooting like Wi-Fi not working because I bumped something, that might be an offline thing. That could take a while. Yeah, other than a bunch of little screws and a couple ribbon cables, this is not that big of a deal. This is actually a lot easier than I was expecting going in. I've wanted to do this project for a couple years, to have this model of Xperia Play with a white shell, and I always had the 800i in white, but it couldn't run the ROM I wanted it to. Then I got an 800X in black, and it runs the ROM I wanted it to, but it's in the wrong color, if you know what I mean. Oh, that's a big old magnet in there. Look at that, it just goes right to it. All right, 2 more screws. One goes here. The other one goes up top. Look at that, no extra screws. What an awesome day for that. You ever done that? Like, take something apart, put it back together, and have an extra screw? Come on, we've all done it once. All right. Let's get that SD card in here, which I believe goes in the bottom. Yeah, don't put it in the SIM card slot. It'll be lost. All right, so assuming I did this right and everything boots, this was the goal, to have this in white, but with the internals. And this is what I meant earlier about that black. I'm pretty sure that's the inside cradle that technically is supposed to be white. I don't have one on me, but let's boot her up and see what she does. Hello. Oh, it buzzed. That's good. Are we gonna get a video signal? Oh, look, I did it right. Sorry to people on TikTok there, so you can see it as well. Yep, we got the coin sound, which means that's working. I think this one's done. I'm gonna just double check to make sure I can read the SD card. We got Atto Drive, that custom ROM. It actually has like a PSP look to it. I'm gonna open up Genesis. And Devil's Curse, or no, it's a Devil's Crush for the TurboGrafx 16, or Dragon's Fury, which is the Mega Drive / Genesis name for it. But we're good. Volume controls work. Awesome. I can't test LNR, but they seem like they're working. But yeah. It's got some on-screen controls I need to get to go away, but I'm excited. It worked. So I now have a little white 800X, which is something I've wanted for since about 2019. There it goes. I need to set the controls on it, but I don't know what I have set as the right there, but the buttons work. let me start this. Anyways, I'll show that off later. But yeah, we did it. So that 800X is done. So I'm gonna shut that down. Let's put this one back together, and then I'll leave you all to the rest of your Sunday. All right, so there's the screen. Here's the shell cover, which is in pretty good condition, actually, considering that this is like fourth hand. Oh, I'm like sitting here feeling like I think I dropped something. I did. It was the the button controls. Hey, buddy. My old dog's watching me. All right. We're going to do this right the first time. We're going to connect the ribbon cable before we smack it in there. And then, yeah, if you're in our Discord, I'm not sure exactly how and when, but the second one I will probably have up for sale for a fairly reasonable price, I think. If anybody's interested. It won't be pre-set up or anything because it's Android, right? So you're going to have to add your own stuff to it, but they're really cool, these Xperia plays, just because A, it's, you know, like they're old. They're from 2011. They run up to PlayStation. There's also some custom games made just for it. Actually, it'll run some N64 games too. I've played the N64 disk drive game, Animal Forest, which is the original Animal Crossing from Japan. There's an English translation. It's kind of cool. It'll run it. It'll run like these low-end N64 games. So it's definitely a little, what is the phrase that we always joke? Emulation beast. No, it's a cool little thing. All right, I gotta put it back on the shelf. There we go. But it's a little bit bigger than, what is it, the Miu Mini, when it's collapsed. That button feels wrong. One sec, I'm just gonna double check it. This button might just be a little soft from use, but I'm just gonna make sure it's actually in there, right? Measure twice, cut once, right? That's better. Yeah, one of the buttons was kind of half pressed down. There, much better. I'm glad I caught that. My little rag keeps falling down. All right. Easy peasy. Let's put her back together. All right. These little screws are kind of tough. You know, I noticed on the other one I probably put that in wrong. It's supposed to go over the screw, or under the screw. I'm not too worried about it, but there we go. It's just a shield to protect the little board that's in there, and it'll hold down from where I have it before. But if you're on our YouTube, we do have an affiliate link to these if you're interested in picking one up. Or if you're one of our patrons, or maybe even just a server member. Like I said, they'll probably put this up for sale. Super cheap. Assuming I get it to work. You can have a black 800i. Alright. That's donezo. Alright, so next I need to go ahead and get the board back in, which goes this way. Get it lined up. It should just pop in. Ah, perfect. Yeah, surprisingly easier to work on than I expected. We're not quite done, but we're close to it. So the last little home stretch, we'll put this back together and make sure everything's working, and we will be finished. These Xperia plays are really cool. I'll probably always own one just because they're kind of special to me. Okay, I didn't do that wrong. I was like, I'm gonna get the power button. I haven't put that back in yet. That's because I'm not there yet. All right. That's down. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, it's just screws. So we're good. We're good. We're good. Same as before. This is kind of a pain. So we're gonna do it smart this time. Oh, hello. There we go. Just pushing these two shells back together. It is very tight. There we go. That's all together. Awesome. Slider works. We're good. All right, now we just got to put her back with the screws here. We'll do a power test, and we're done. Put this down where I'm not going to break it. This is where I break something because I'm excited that I did it right. Oh, come on. Black screw and a black little screw hole here. It's hard to see. But if you're watching, this just kind of shows I am not an expert in this stuff. Like, I am not a person who knows how to solder or really do a whole bunch of electronic stuff. But just as far as like taking things apart and putting them back together, anybody can really do this as long as you're patient. Like the Nintendo Switch, I completely disassembled and put back together, no problems. Right. We're gonna pray for no extra screws. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Do. Almost done. Two left, and we are finished, my friends. Oof. That's my screwdriver making that noise, by the way. It's got this little spinny bit on the top, and if I push on it, sometimes it gets squeaky. I believe this last one goes here. Awesome. I'm going to check the buttons here, make sure they feel good. The volume buttons work. L and R will work. They're never that great anyways, but whatever. Back, home, context, search. Remember Androids having this stuff, by the way? I'll show with both cameras here, but like the back, home, the little menu button and search. Like this ancient stuff. Who has that anymore? I kind of miss it. All right. Enough of that. Battery in. Shell on. Back when you could do that with Androids. Moment of truth. Make sure it's all on correctly. All right, we buzzed. All right, we're doing okay. Hey, look at that. This doesn't have a custom ROM on it or anything. It's ready for one, but this is a untouched phone. Hey, look at that. And the only thing I want to check is... Ooh, this is ancient. Well, it says it picks up a cell phone signal. It says it's 1980. So that's something. Let me just make sure that this bad boy can pick up a Wi-Fi signal. Yep, it sees them. So you can see mine there. Cool. Well, we're done. We did it, folks. No mess ups. So, yeah, if you're interested in an Xperia Play, I highly recommend them. It's just kind of a cool, I mean, it's a collectible, but, you know, they're 11 years old at this point. You got to do a little work to get them running right with like emulators and stuff, but they're kind of cool. You know, they'll run, like I said, PlayStation and down, and maybe a little N64 and stuff. It's a tiny, tiny Android. So, anyways, I'm going to cut off the feed on both of these things. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Sunday while I did some shell swaps. But they're, sorry, I just saw that comment. The stickers load bearing. Probably. Anyways, guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.